Okay, so this is going to be step one for me. Switching over to the new regulator rectifier. I'm going to be building some wiring harnesses that will connect the stator to the new regulator rectifier. These three wires here come from the stator, and then they go into a wiring harness down here that run over to the old regulator rectifier. So I need to build a wiring harness for that. And it's only going to be 3 wires. So basically I'll be, snipping this plug off here, and then I'll be connecting these 3 wires to 3 new wires that will then go over to the new Mosfet regulator rectifier. So what I need to do is to take a rough measurement of how much wire I'm going to need to accomplish that. I took some measurements, and it's going to be about a foot, give or take, but I'm going to make sure it's a little bit longer than what my measurement says. I could always trim the wire back once I kind of figure out where the new regulator rectifier is going to mount. I'm going to try to mount it in the same location. So I'll probably cut 3 wires 15 inches long, and then build the harness with the, I'll show you that later, but it's got new connector plugs that'll be used instead of these old ones. So yeah, that's kind of the plan right now, is what I'm going to do. Eventually I'll take all this off, but I didn't want to take it off until I got my measurements, and it'll kind of be a little bit easier to work on once I remove everything. But for now I'm just taking measurements. Okay, so the next part of this video is putting together the wiring harness that's going to connect the 3 existing wires coming up from the stator to the new Mosfet regulator rectifier. So I got 3 wires here. I was able to find yellow. It doesn't matter what color they are, but I had some yellow, so I'm sticking with that. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to use these, you're going to crimp these things, these connectors, metal connectors, and they will go basically inside here, but from this way, I'm sorry. They'll basically go into here, into this connector, which will then connect the wires to the regulator right there. And these are your weather tight plugs. Not very good lighting in here, but those are your weather tight plugs. So before you put your metal connectors on, you need to feed one of these on the wire the right way. So when you go to plug your finished wires into the back of this connector, it'll make a weather tight seal. I believe you have to take this yellow piece off prior to trying to insert your wires into the back. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to probably solder these as well as crimp them. In the directions I have from the kit, it says it doesn't matter, but I'm going to put a little bit of solder on them. If you haven't soldered before, I'd recommend getting on a YouTube video and watch it, and see what's involved. It's not that difficult, but you probably need to learn a couple things prior to trying to do it. And I'll be doing the same thing on the other end where these wires will connect to the existing stator wires. I'll be soldering those too. The kit that I have, it included these butt connectors, and I don't like those. I'm going to be soldering and using shrink tube for the connection point. So that's basically where I'm at. I'm not going to bother to film this because I'm only one person and I'm holding the camera, so it'd be too difficult to do. But if you have basic understanding of how, making wire connections and using crimping tool, you should be able to complete this no problem. By the way, this is the new Mosfet regulator rectifier. This side is this side's the stator side, and this is the side that goes to the battery, power and ground. You only have 2 wires. I guess you could connect both wires, positive and negative, to the battery, or you can connect the green dot to a chassis ground and then just run 1 wire over to the battery for the power, for charging. And that kit gave you some wiring, red and black, and a fuse. So if anything was to go wrong, you got a fuse to replace. But yeah, the kit's, for the price of it, it wasn't too bad. You just want something reliable. And I could tell the mounting on this thing's probably going to be a little bit different. I haven't checked it 100%, but I think it's going to be a little bit different than the existing one. So I might have to come up with something different for mounting, but cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, in this part of the video, I've got my wires coming from the stator extended with those connectors that will go into that plug. They're on there. I ended up soldering the new wires on and using some heat shrink to keep them protected. So next I'll be taking off the old regulator rectifier, try to mount the new one up or see how it works out as far as the bolt holes. But yeah, that's where I'm at now. Wasn't too bad, soldering wires like this without some sort of alligator clips to hang on to them, and make it a little tricky, but nothing too bad. Just gotta take your time. I mean, you could use those butt connectors. I just don't like to do that. If I can solder, I'll solder. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Had to add some spacers between the rectifier and the frame. Being 14.46 on the money. So I'd say this has worked out pretty good.